What's up, you guys? Thank you for tuning in to another Because of Sales podcast episode. This week, we got my boy, Ben, who lives here in Austin, Texas. He is the founder of Bolt Deals. They are behind $15 million of assignment fees for wholesalers. Now, this episode's pretty interesting because Ben is 20 years old. He's been in the game longer than a lot of people that I know, and he's absolutely crushing it for himself and his clients. Honestly, might be one of the most ambitious people we've had on the podcast so far. Aside from sales and selling, he is just truly a savage and really good at what he does and a great guy to learn from. If you want to learn how a 20-year-old affords an $8,000 per month apartment without selling courses, this is the episode for you. Before we get into this, please, you guys, go down to that first link in the description. Because of Sales is a newsletter first media company. We're focused on helping people who sell things, whether you're a sales rep or business owner, do it more, do it easier, do it more sustainably. So that way you can actually enjoy the fruits of your labor. Sales and getting into sales and selling something to somebody can provide you your dream life. And we want to help you do that without it consuming your entire life. So every week, straight to your inbox, we're sending news, tools, tips, tricks, memes, and a deep dive breakdown of this interview and these interviews that we do here. So less than 5-minute read it with your coffee, get better at sales. Don't get yelled at by your boss if he finds this on your computer because you're getting better at sales. So yeah, guys, go down. First link in the description. It is free. It will be free forever. Now let's get into the podcast. All right, you guys, we are back with, I don't even know what episode this is at this point, but we've got Ben here. Ben is a local Austin homie in the online business space, been at it for a while, and you're only 20 years old, right?
Yeah, I turned 20 in March. I've been doing this for 5 years.
So since high school, is it the same business since then?
Same exact business since high school, yeah.
Cool. You guys are about to get a master class in specifically, he kind of runs like an agency service, but for wholesale and what? What real estate?
Yeah, just wholesaling real estate.
So they help people generate more leads, sell more wholesale real estate deals. And you could probably explain it better than me, so I'll let you do that. Can you explain to people what Bolt Deals is and what you guys are specializing in?
So in simple terms, Bolt Deals is a marketing agency. We run Google ads for real estate investors, wholesalers, so people that find the ugly houses, on the side of the road or whatever, fix them up or get them under contract, sell it to like a fix and flipper for a assignment fee or their profit, right? So I work with those people. I run ads to get them sellers so they can close more deals. I started this business when I was 15 during the midst of COVID. Been doing this for about 5 years now. So a quarter of my life has been dedicated to this business. And sales has been the biggest and most helpful skill set that has gotten me to where I am today, for sure.
How does a 15-year-old even know what wholesale real estate is?
Long story short, going into high school, I wanted to become a surgeon, right? Because my parents got divorced the year before, and I saw my dad struggle with money. Got to a point where I thought we were going to go homeless because I saw him begging, family, friends for money to pay the bills, and that he would stress out about it, and I would stress out about it. And, at that time, I would watch, those like house tours, like $20 million house tours with like Graham Stephan. So I'd watch those when I should be doing homework. But then another video that I came across was a Robert Kiyosaki, like What They Don't Teach You in School video. So I click on that, I watched it, I'm like, okay, fuck this. I don't want to be a surgeon anymore. I hated school anyways. I was terrible. I was the Asian that you don't cheat off of, is the easiest way to put it, right? So from there, I put all my energy, all my time into learning about business. I looked at, e-commerce, drop shipping, Amazon FBA, all that bullshit. And then I remember coming across this Asian guy on TikTok. His name was Hoang, Wholesale to Millions guy. And I was like, this sounds really, I want to get into real estate because real estate makes millionaires or whatever. But I was 14, 15 at the time, so I can't really sign contracts. Contracts won't be valid. So I was like, what can I do to where I can make money consistently and help people grow? Because I remember vividly thinking, I know that if I can make people money, I will make money. That was the whole logic behind it. So then, Iman Gadget comes across one of his day in the lives, SMMA owner. And then at first I was like, fuck, looking at the Facebook ad account just terrified me. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. And then I, ponder on it. I find out about this Billy Wilson guy, learn more about it. I sit alone at lunch. And the reason why is because going from charter school, which is where I was for middle school, to a public school was like a night and day, culture shock to me. We went from having lockers, uniforms, field trips, and, STEM kids to just potheads and bites. I just couldn't believe it. So I wasn't the most social person back in high school, so I didn't really have that many friends. I had like one or two people that I talked to. So at
Yeah.
lunch, we didn't have lunch together, so I'd sit alone. I just study about business, just learn business over and over again. A few months later, COVID happened, everything shuts down, can't play soccer, so you're locked in the entire time. And scrolling through TikTok, all I see is business TikToks, like start a business, do this, do Google My Business verification. All you got to do is cold call these people and they'll pay you $500. I was like, oh, it sounds easy enough. At that moment, I started going on Google and I started cold calling. I didn't know what to say besides listening to the pitch of some of these people on TikTok. And after 3-4 days of trying that, I'm like, this is not as easy as it seems. So the entire summer, all I did was just study the business. So just study procrastination, if you would. And then the end of freshman year, so not summer, after summer, what is that, fall of freshman year. So school's still locked down and I'm still staying home. I decide to finally start cold calling. Right, finally start to actually commit to starting cold calling. So I'm cold calling 4 to 5 hours a day, 6 days per week. 3 months later, I get my first client. And funny enough, it was the day that I didn't normally cold call. So I normally don't cold calls on Sundays, but I got a client on Sundays. Transparent, it wasn't really a new cold call. It was a follow-up from Friday. I close him at my aunt's or my uncle's house in his bedroom. I hop on. I'm like, hey, this costs $300 and you just cash at me. He sends me $1 and I think it's a joke as a verification. And he sends me the other $2.99. I still have the email to this day. And that was like, holy shit, I made my first dollar online and it felt incredible. Now we can talk about another thing about business where it's like 2 hours later, I didn't really feel any the joy faded away. But now I was hooked. Literally, I'm like, this is fucking incredible. So the next few months, I was only closing about 1 client a month. I went from cold calling on Craigslist, on Instagram, suggested accounts, on Google My Business to get my next few clients. And then, a few more calls and a few up and down, and here I am.
That first deal, the 300, that was for lead gen for wholesale?
No. So I started off working with mobile mechanics, so the car industry, so mobile mechanics, car repair shops,
Okay.
Honda salespeople, and then we transitioned to real estate agents, and then nobody likes fucking working with real estate agents, and then I transitioned to working with real estate investors because one thing I've realized and learned is that agents can't close, right? They don't want to spend money and they can't close. They're guaranteed to fail. And then I had a client who did really well that was an agent investor. So he was both a real estate agent and a wholesaler. And I'm like, this is incredible. So I brought him on. We did it for him. And back during this time, wholesaling wasn't as popular or running agencies wasn't as popular, not as hard. So I just started bringing them on. It was 3 of us, 3 competitors. It was me and then 2 other guys. And then we just ran it up basically. And there are times where I wish I can go back and just wish I would pull out loans to spend money on ads because I was getting 15x ROAS day one.
You got pretty proficient at a really young age, dude, at ads, sales, managing, running a business, operations to an extent. Obviously, this is a sales podcast. I think there's a lot of value in kind of diving into some of the marketing, some of the paid ad stuff, because you've probably, I don't know if you have the number handy, but you've probably run a lot of paid ads, how much you've spent on those.
I mean, I could probably check. But going back to what you were saying, I believe the skill of sales translated to everything I do in the business. How I do sales, it carries over to marketing. It carries over to recruiting and hiring because instead of you selling a prospect, you're selling a talent, a person, an applicant as to why they should work for you and vice versa. They should sell you and why you should hire them. It comes down to management as well because management or leadership is basically just selling people to fucking get their work done. But it's not as easy as sales where you close somebody and they fucking do the job. It's more just do it over and over again and it's consistent, proactive management. The skill of sales has carried to every aspect of my life. It's helped me become a better speaker, a better communicator, a better networker. But the skill of sales, I don't really look at it as persuasion or influence or getting somebody to change. I simply just look at it as communication. That's all sales is, right?
Yeah.
There's communication and then there's, influence, persuasion, then there's sales. So to me, I think the best salesperson is simply just the best communicator. But the skill is communication has carried in every aspect.
I want to paint the picture a little bit better for someone who's watching this that doesn't know you. Yeah. But Ben is 20 years old, spending, you spend $8,000 a month on a high-rise apartment, right?
Yeah.
So he does well. So you guys, just because he's 20 years old, don't write him off. We'll tell you a little bit more about the numbers and stuff here later in the pod. But just so you know, in the beginning, this guy does well with his business and he's only 20 years old and he does better than most. So also you're in Hawaii right now. I hit you up to do the pod and you're like, oh, I'm in Hawaii. Can we do it when I'm back? And I'm like, that's actually a perfect time to do it. You're in Hawaii on vacation.
I thought you wanted it in person because I know I run a podcast myself, but I normally do in-person podcasts.
Yeah. We do some in person. I was like, let's just run it remote. Cause like you're in Hawaii, solo vacation. How long are you there for?
I've been here for this. I'm gonna be here for 3 weeks total.
Okay. So you don't afford vacation in Hawaii without doing all right by yourself for 3 weeks. So anyways, just a little context for you guys that don't know, Ben. But where should we go from here, man? You have a lot of cool stuff that I want to dig into. I guess with the current business, can you walk us through your first dollar, how you did it, and then kind of a little bit of the evolution of the business, partnering up with some people, selling into different niches. How did you decide to sell? I mean, you positioned it as a marketing agency. How did you decide to sell paid advertisements versus some of these other services like SEO or copywriting or something like that?
My biggest thing is that number one, I saw demand for it. If there's no demand for it, like who the fuck are you gonna sell to, right? TAM has to be there. And the thing about my niche is that there are people at the top of the food chain that are creating real estate investors. And there's people that are coaching them. And then there's people like me who just come in and get these people to the top. So compare that to like the agency space as an example. There's, your Iman Gadgis and whoever the fuck else is at the top of the food chain, right? Like Tate as an example, who's creating entrepreneurs. And then there's other people who are like teaching how to run an agency, things like that. And there are service providers for agencies. That's the way that I look at it. I'm not creating the niche. I'm more so just selling to the niche.
Do you only run Meta ads or do you do Google too?
No, we primarily run PPC, so Google. And the biggest reason we run PPC is because there's like a direct ROI from it. Like with content, it takes a while to ramp up content. I know this because I'm spending 8 to 10 grand a month on my quote unquote money losing content team. It's a joke that I made. So paid ads has like a direct ROI and you can justify it. As opposed to like, here's SEO, pay me 24 grand and maybe a year from now you'll see something. And I know that like the quicker I can make people money, the more I can get paid for it.
I never really thought about that about your business, but it's super true. There's so many people out there that teach wholesaling, and the biggest problem for wholesalers is leads. The biggest problem for anyone in sales is leads, right? Usually. I know you run ads for your own business because I get them, but do you get in touch with these other people who run these coaching programs and be like, hey, working out affiliate deals and that kind of thing as well?
Absolutely. And this is where the skill of sales comes in. You have to sell them as to why they should promote your product, your service over everybody else. But the way I do it, at least, is I'm not just selling, here's why my results are better, because transparently, sometimes in order to even have a conversation with them, they already know that my results are there because they might have a student who they trust and who's one of their best case studies that is using me. So they already have proof of concept. So I'm already making them look good. And the way that I sell them is obviously, I want to be charismatic, build a relationship, give before you ask, things like that. But it comes down to proof of concept. All they care about is results. Because I tell them, hey man, like, let's do this. You already see these like few clients of yours who are already doing well, and they're making you look good. You're going to sell more coaching. And the best part is I'm willing to share exactly what I'm doing on my end to target real estate investors to get more coaching clients for you. Just a matter of give. And you'll get to a point where you give so much, they'll just reach out to you and ask you like, what can I do to serve you as well? And then that's when you go for your ask. That's how I go about it. And it's obviously worked.
Honestly, that makes a lot of sense. I'm going to ask you a question you probably got a couple of times before, I'd assume. Now that you're over the age of 18, why are you not just running your own wholesaling business if you're so good at generating leads for them?
We launched ads yesterday.
Nice. Why didn't you do it sooner?
On all these people.
Wait, what did you say?
I'll tell you something. If you are a high ticket rep, okay, let me give some context first. I've probably spoken to over 7,000 real estate investors in the last few years. This is not lead submissions. This is like active conversations, right? Like calls taken, whether it's an intro, demo, or just in person. And the bar is set so low in this industry to where if you just take the basic sales skills of high ticket over to this business, rule number, connect and set an agenda. These fuckers don't even do that. Like, have some energy. These people sound like dead robots walking, right? So I want to start the wholesaling business just to create content and show people that it's not hard to make money. And the fact that I'm going to use my age, I'm going to use my own marketing, obviously, because I want to sell more of my marketing services. And I just want to build like a nice little cult, you know what I mean? But yeah, we're starting. LLC set up. I'm waiting tomorrow. My credit card should come in today. I'm not here, so I'm probably gonna have somebody at the house come over and send me my credit card. But yeah, we're gonna start one and we're gonna run it.
You gonna be public with like the name and the market and all that, or are you gonna keep it low key so people don't?
The name of the company, I'll keep it quiet, but like everything else is gonna be open. I already like so I'm working on the series right now where it's how I'm gonna scale a wholesaling business from like zero to $100,000 in profit, and we're documenting the entire thing. It's a passion project, if you would. It's kind of easy. It's really fun too. And plus, my videos, the videos, nobody else in the industry has made a video like this. So for me to come in, leverage being 20 years old, I think it might perform well, but I could be absolutely wrong. Who knows?
Do you know what city or what market you're going to do it in?
So we're doing all of Texas because I'm here in Texas and I know I have partners, things like that. We're also going to do with Georgia because Georgia, I already have partners because I don't know if you're familiar with the wholesale process, but there's two sales processes. So you know how in high ticket, there's your client acquisition, so closing them, and then there's your selling them, CS. That's the sales process too. Wholesaling is very similar, right? Wholesaling is basically just another fucking agency. It's the same shit. You have your acquisitions, which is getting properties under contract, and then you have your dispositions, which is getting these contracts and selling them to a buyer. So there's two sales processes. It's not you just close a deal and swipe a credit card.
How long are you anticipating it takes for you to make 100 grand once you're like scaling?
Close and net it, like the goal is within 3 months or less. And I say this because I have a client who's up in Dallas, mediocre sales. I was listening to his calls yesterday and this morning. They're so mediocre. I mean, technically I'm doing all the work because it's marketing. I'm basically getting laydowns in front of them. And then I'm like, some of these deals that he didn't close, he should have closed. So he made 130 grand last month. With those sales skills, I should be a fucking billionaire in the next year if this is what it takes. You know what I mean?
Are you going to be the one that takes the sales calls or are you going to hire a team?
So I want to take the sales calls just for content, but eventually I want to scale it to the point where I'm just something that I'll add on to this. Something that I also want to do is that we both know that Austin is very young and sales heavy. Everybody and their mom's a sales bro, right? I had this vision where we'd run it up and we would have a little, buy a nice car, get some attention, and get sales bros, right? Get other people to join us and help us find deals in order to scale it up as well. So that's something that I want to do, but got to use his skill of sales to influence people to do the same.
The social media stuff will help with that, the content that you're doing, because they're going to be like, dude, who's this 20-year-old kid in this high rise, literally like a couple blocks away from my university? So we talked about this before we started recording a little bit. You've been running this for 5 years. You've gone through iterations of no sales team, and now you're doing the sales yourself again. Why tell the viewers why you decided to take it over?
Running a sales team is, number one, an absolute headache, right? There have been periods where I believe I've done it right to where it was cranky, it was absolutely running well. But my issue was that it's not as profitable as I want it to be, because I didn't know how to properly structure bonuses and milestones. Like once you hit X amount of deals closed, you're in commission. Like it got to a point where we were losing money because of the sales team. And I'm just like, this is fucking stupid. Having to micromanage these people, right? I would have closers closing at 35-40%. They were closing great. They would never put in their fucking notes. And I had to settle with the thought of like, okay, you can either have a closer that is like great at closing, shit at admin work, or a closer that's great at admin work, shit at closing. And I'm just like, you know what? Fuck this, right? I have a setter now. Like, I'm not the one taking intros and demos, but we're way more profitable. I have way less stress. And my goal, like, we're not running this agency to $1 million a month. Like, it's just not going to happen, right? That's a lot of $3,000 a month deals, right? So I was like, fuck, I'll take 2 or 3 calls myself. I'll use it as content, build a great relationship with clients for retention, and not have to deal with the stress. So there are people that can absolutely do it right. And I know that, for example, if you're doing a coaching business or just like info product business with like high margins, low cogs, you can absolutely make it work. But for me, with where I'm at and where we want to be, like, I don't want it. I don't want a sales team.
Quick break, you guys, for the sponsor of this week's podcast, the Serial Sales Community. If you've been here for a little bit, you kind of hopefully know what the Serial Sales Community is by now. It is a community built around the 1099 remote appointment setting and closing sales industry, if you will. Inside, we directly help salespeople just like you go from selling something you don't like that doesn't give you the life you want to selling something you do like and living the life you want. These are usually going to be coaching courses, agency services, software, boot camps, mentorships, communities, online high ticket products or services, typically those that drive inbound leads from maybe social media, paid ads, or things of those. So being a contractor gives you a lot of upside in terms of flexibility, in terms of earning potential, in terms of writing your own paycheck and schedule. But with great upside can come great downside. If you don't know what you're doing, avoid the pitfalls of commission-only sales and get surrounded by people that have been there and done that can help you get there and do that. If you go down to the description, there's a link to book a call with the team. Mention Because of Sales will give you 5% off. Now let's get back to the podcast. What do you think about other agencies that are similar to you that do have high functioning sales teams? What do you think they're doing that you're not?
It's funny because I spoke with every single one of my competitors. They all fired their sales team. Every single one.
How do you size up?
So there's one guy that's been in this business for like 10 years. He's doing like 400K a month. The rest are like pay-per-lead companies, so I don't really count them as competitors. And I understood the financials of them. It's so it's a checkout, so they don't really have a sales team, right? It's like you just buy the lead. It's pay-per-lead. They're doing like $1 million a month with like 20% margins. I'm like, that's pretty shit. Half their costs are like chargebacks and refunds. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. And then the next competitor, I mean, we're all pretty around the same mark, 100, 200 a month. There's just that one guy that's doing $500,000, 400, 500K a month that I know of, but everybody else, I don't know.
That pay per lead model, I've seen people do crazy numbers, but the refunds and chargebacks is really crazy on that. You got to have good processing.
Oh, dude, fuck. I mean, I'm in masterminds with some of them, and they're like, hey, who do you guys know for collections? I'm like, why? They'll be like, yeah, we're just getting a ton of, I mean, at the end of the day, you're selling a fucking $50 lead, and some dumbass is going to buy that lead, and if they don't close it, they're going to charge back. Like, what did you expect?
It's a tough business, dude. So you sell a $7,500 3-month package, and it sounds like it's a hybrid done with you, done for you service, right?
It's more done for you, but yeah.
Okay, cool. So you're selling this to, I'd assume, mostly cold, like paid traffic, right?
Yeah. It's cool. We get a bunch of referrals here and there too.
So how do you do that, man? Is that 1 call, 2 call? You said you have a setter. Like, what does that process look like for you?
Lead comes in, schedules a intro call with our setter. Setter qualifies them, tell me pain points, goals, bottlenecks and strengths, what they've tried in the past, their budget, their timeline, partners, things like that, right? So there's something that I learned from Cole Gordon that has helped me drastically. He calls it the 6-7 beliefs of sales or whatever. So pain and problem, goal, consequence, doubt, there's money, trust, decision makers, and then markets, because I need to know what market somebody's in. So what I did before was I would write each one of those out, just line by line, and before a call, and then as I'm going through the call, I would just check them up. I was like, okay, we covered their pain and problem, and then we probed on it. And then we went through their consequence. What would happen if they didn't do anything about this? What would happen to them personally and professionally? Money, is the money there? Decision makers, are they all there? Trust, do they trust me? And then markets, what markets are they in? So that's what I did starting out, and that's sort of what we get on the intro now. And then they hop on to me. I go through the notes again on a probe. Okay, you said you've been struggling with this for 6 months. Why do you feel like that is? What have you tried? Is this a priority for you to solve now? Something you're looking to push off? What does that look like for you, right? And they say now, why now? Why not push it off? So it's just like probing on the notes that the setter gave me. And then based on that, I feel like I can help. Here's why. Do you disagree or have any objections to that? No? Great. Here's the demo. Do you feel like I can help you? Yes, no, why not? Is there any reason you don't think you can get results working with us? No, why not? Cool. Where do you want to go from here? And then fucking whatever objection it is, I don't get that many objections transparently. I mean, the only objections that I do get is like, hey, I want to wait until, this next deal closes. And if that was really the case, I just get a deposit. And then when the deal closes, I take the rest. So it's technically.
Why don't you get that many objections? Because I feel like it's pretty natural too.
I don't know. Probably because I cleared up front. To be honest, like if I perform shit on a call and I get an objection, I'm not gonna be surprised. But like when I'm on my thing in my flow, I don't really get objections. My close rate's pretty high. Cash collect is there. Cash collected percentage is high because this is the issue with closers. They say their close rate's high, but their fucking cash per close is shit. And like for example, we had a closer where his close rate was 50%. His cash collected per call is like fucking $1,000. So it's nothing. So it's about optimizing around the right metrics. But yeah, I don't know. I've just been doing this for a while. I know these prospects better than they do. Like I tell them, this is what you're going to go through if you don't solve this. And maybe it's my level of conviction. I think my conviction helps. My track record helps a lot. So people come on already like aware, they're going to go on my Instagram. They're going to go on my YouTube, things like that. So I think that's why.
For your appointment setting call, how long are they and who's doing it? Like, is it a VA or is this someone in like North America?
There's somebody like really like in America. Yeah. It ranges. Sometimes it's 20 minutes. Sometimes he'll be on with them for an hour.
Just call like when they book, when they opt in, or is it a set call?
It's a set call, intro call.
That makes sense. And how do you incentivize him to do his job well and not push through people who shouldn't be and to push through those who should be?
So he's great at taking accountability. Like if I tell him a set's shit, he will know that the set is shit. Even after reviewing my call, he'll like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have set them. He gets a base salary, bring on good talent. You don't really have that issue. He sees the results, so CS is there. So something that I do that helps out drastically is all the sales team has access to client wins. So they can literally see like, oh dude, this guy just made 100K off of this deal. I'm like, it's because of you. It's because you put that extra effort into overcoming his limiting beliefs of being burned in the past, whatever the case is. So that's something that I do that our sales reps absolutely love. And they genuinely see that it gives them fulfillment and satisfaction. Like I could literally even show you right now. So we got a review from one of our clients, like a 5-star, and the sales guy would be like, hey, thanks for this, yada, yada, yada. So sales team loves that.
Where did you find him at, or how did you find sales hires?
Transparently is referrals. My best salespeople have always been referrals. It's only been one time that I used a recruiter that it worked well, but referrals are always the best.
What is your goal with Bolt Deals? You said, I don't really want to scale this to $1 million a month right now. Where are you trying to take it?
$1 million a year in profit and good retention, happy client. This agency is basically my playground. I learned the skills that I need in order to do bigger things.
Yeah, what are those bigger things?
So obviously the wholesaling business, I'm very confident I can run that thing up to 200, 300K a month because I see my clients who are nowhere near as good as I am. I'm not saying that to stroke my ego. I'm just saying that to be honest. And then eventually I really want to get into like buying businesses and blowing that up, right? So I'm having conversations with so there's an acne clinic that I go to in Austin and, we start talking about business and I'm like, if I bought a business like this, I could run it up. Like you're getting 10x ROAS, day one cash, LTVs, like a lifetime ROAS is like a 30x. I'm like, fuck, I can do so much.
Those clinics are nasty.
They'll get you for like 100. Their acquisition cost, I'll give you some numbers, and I know it's not, I guess it's sales related.
No, it is. Yeah.
Because technically you're selling them to become a client anyways. So this lady, her clinic acquisition, patient acquisition is like $50, right? Give or take. Her initial consultation cost is about 150, if I'm not mistaken. So just the consultation, you're already at a 3x ROAS. And then she upsells you like another fucking whatever, $300, $400 worth of products. Because she did that with me and I bought it. I'm like, wait, you spent $50. And my first appointment, I spent $500. So you're getting a 10x on my first appointment, day one. And then each like check-in, like 2-week check-in is another $150. You do the math, it's fucking through the roof, right?
Yeah.
And this is just for basic acne. This is not even talking about like back acne. This is not talking about like Botox and all that bullshit, right? Lasers and red light therapy. And I'm just like, oh my goodness, her costs are like none. She has her own products that she sells it's private labeling. I know it because I went to an acne place in Houston. It was very similar. I'm just like, well, fuck, I need to get on all this. So that's what I want because I really want a jet. I want to buy a jet one day.
Is that a franchise or a private clinic?
Private. It's private.
She only has one or multiple?
She has two. She has one here and one in Albuquerque.
Yeah, having a jet would be sick.
Working on getting my private pilot license right now. So after I work, I go to Epoch Coffee, if you know where that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's by far my favorite place to work. And then I just do the ground school and stuff, fly twice a week, go get my license, buy a jet in like 2-3 years.
That always scared me, dude. Like flying small planes. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, it is. But I'd buy like a jet, it's like $5 million. Yeah.
Dude, all right, so let's talk about wholesaling. You're saying, it's like, look, I work with all these wholesalers. I talked to 7,000 of them. I know a thing or two. I'm confident I can scale this to 200-300K a month pretty quick. For anyone that's listening to this that might be a wholesaler, because I'd assume we might get a couple of those, what kind of advice do you have for them as far as like, hey, I see a lot of people make this mistake or this mistake, like avoid this at all costs, do this instead?
So the issue with most of the people that I speak to is that they're older. They're in their like 30s or beyond that. So they're used to like old school sales where there's no emphasis on tonality. There's no pacing. Like, you know how nowadays like us, we're focused on like this word instead of saying this with an upward inflection, say it with a downward inflection, add a question mark. They don't do any of that. They just literally read a script line by line, just as the normal conversation. There's no energy. There's no conviction. It's just a boring ass conversation. And it's really depressing to listen.
So if you're looking at their entire business, so to speak, the biggest downfall you're seeing is actually the act of selling?
No, it's marketing. They're marketing shit.
That's why you do what you do.
Because if you get good marketing, your sales conversations, you can use your shitty sales skills and close these deals, and then your back end dispo is not a problem. This is the equivalent of going to like an info product niche and be like, hey, if I get you the perfect client, like they're coachable, they have the money, they're long-term minded, etc., they're perseverant, whatever, they're gonna succeed, right? And that sort of idea, that concept of finding that perfect customer goes back to the same thing when it comes to sales.
When it comes to you launching ads for people, obviously there's people that are going to operate in certain markets. Certain markets are going to have more volume and opportunity than others. How do you make sure that you're not having campaigns competing against each other too hard? I'm sure it's inevitable, but like, how do you make sure that that's not like a big issue?
I mean, unless you're spending like 50 grand a month, you don't really see much overlap. We have clients that we're trying to scale to 100,000 a month and spend by the end of the year. And they're in multiple markets. They're not in just one market. Like the TAM's not there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So transparently, like we don't stress about that.
What do you have to spend to even get any kind of worthwhile results in wholesale these days?
So average, let's just start with treating this as a high ticket business. If we know that, let's just say average cost per deal, you're not a great salesperson, your dispo resources are basic. I just set the expectation at like a $3,000 cost per deal. You want to close 3 deals? Great. That's 9 grand, 10 grand. But realistically, we have clients that are closing at like 1,500 to 2K cost per deal. You're putting in 2K and you're getting fucking 25 grand out.
Makes sense. Dude, I talk to a lot of sales reps, especially in the high ticket space. There's a lot of real estate stuff. And specifically, the feedback that I've gotten from people who sell to those in the real estate niche is a lot of them don't have as much money as you'd think, and they're afraid to spend it on something like this. So do you deal with that? Like a lot of broke leads or scared leads?
Yeah, we had the guy I closed this morning. He wasn't broke, but he was more so scared because he's been burned in the past. But that's where having a track record, having some social proof online helps out a lot. But if you're talking about like, okay, so the people in your community are probably selling to like coaching programs, real estate coaching programs is my guess. With that, it's a goals-based syntax. You're selling B2C. You sell goals, aspirations. B2B, you sell more pain.
Why do you think it is that people who do similar things to you get a bad rap so fast? There's so many real estate agents that have been burnt on lead generation. Why is that?
Transparently, I don't think it's that they've been burnt. It could be because, yes, there are agencies that suck. I just think it's also they suck at closing, but blame it on an agency and they label, hey, I suck.
Yeah. So how do you not get blamed as a shitty agency if they suck?
You bring on the right client. Like we have an ICP. We want people that are already closing 3 deals per month. They got at least 10K a month to invest in some marketing. They have an acquisitions. They have a dispo person. They're established. Where the only thing that they need is leads to make more money. I'm not going to sit here and teach you how to fill out a contract. I'm not going to sit here and fucking set up your CRM for you. Like I send you leads, you close deals, and leave me alone. For a lot better terms.
You might have to catch me up to speed on the legalities of this, but like, why don't you take a rev share?
We do. We have one client that we do rev share with, 20% rev share.
In addition to like retainer or something?
No, I don't charge them retainer.
I'm curious why you do like an upfront 3-month commitment, but you don't have like a set rev share for every client.
The goal with retainer clients is to see who's good, transition them into rev share.
So you have clients that you've been working with for far longer than 3 months, it seems.
Oh yeah. We pitched rev share to some people and they just don't want it. It makes no sense.
Yeah, people are afraid of it. I just had a podcast, but this guy was saying that like if you're simply rev share, you're kind of seen as like all profit, no expenses. But if you charge a big retainer like 10K per month, on the first of the month on the P&L, you're literally like a negative expense, and it's so much easier to be judged, to be cut like when you're already starting in the hole versus when you only get paid on the upside. So that's interesting that people are afraid of like rev share only. Well, they have to spend on the ads.
Oh yeah, they're spending money on the ads. Because I call them private clients, because you got your normal clients and you got your private client. I was like, oh, how do I become a private client? Well, you give me fucking 20% of everything. But yeah, there's more like I will go out and fucking help them close deals. Like I will save deals and hop on the phones and close deals for them because they know I'm a great salesperson. I fucking close them. Right? So yeah, the goal with retainers is to transition them into rev share. And now eventually I'm gonna fucking own the business myself. I'm gonna run it up, and then we're just gonna increase our retainer to like 5K a month. And they're like, oh, that guy's charging 50. I'll fucking go work with him then. Because the clients that we get that can afford to pay 5K per month are going to have way more ad spend for us. Because if you're spending 5K in management, your 5K ad, that's stupid. Or even 10K in ad spend, right? So the more you charge, the better the customer you get. And I'm at a point where it's just like I care more about quality than quantity. This transitions to sales team as well. There was a point where we had like 3 setters and 3 closers. The company was we were cash collected wise, we were good, about 100K, but our team wasn't making shit. Take that out. One closer, excluding me, and one setter. Just these pair on their own. We were cash collecting like the same, minus 20%. So I'm just like, well, fuck, I might as well, like, this guy's happy. I'm happy. Let's do this.
Is there a model that exists where you, at this point, you might as well just start your own company, but is there a model that exists where you front the ad spend for the clients? And if so, how would that look?
I will never front ad spend for clients. I'll tell you why, because I'm big on like cash flow, accounting, finances, and that is a nightmare that I don't want to. I won't even put client ad spend on my card. Like if client paid, like I don't bill ad spend up front as an example, but I would never do that. That is an accounting nightmare. This agency is so like, if somebody's watching this and they don't really have a business yet, if I could go back, I would put way more emphasis on learning sales. My introduction to sales was like Jeremy Minor, right? Like real sales training that actually changed my life. It was Jay Minor. And I never even bought his program. I fucking pirated it. His program, absolutely incredible, right? I would watch his YouTube lives. Like that's how I learned sales. In the car driving home, I would listen to his lives, pause it, role play it, play. Just keep on doing that. A few months, and then I got the hang of it. And that's kind of how I learn sales now. Like if I want to go into another industry, like wholesaling, I just listen to a few fucking sales calls and I'm like, okay, here's some bullet points and boom.
Do you think you'd be where you are now with everything, like looking at buying a jet in the near future, if you didn't just
When I
like,
say near future, I'm talking about like 3 to 5 years.
yeah, that's near future. Do you think you'd be able to get to this point if you didn't start early and just like make it your entire life?
I'm glad I started this early. I'm so glad because now is just because I've learned skills, learned lessons, made mistakes that I'm just glad I don't have to repeat them again. That is one thing I'm happy about. But yeah, sometimes I go on podcasts like this and people will DM me. I've had a few people from high school that I went to class with. I don't even know, I don't remember these kids. I don't even talk to them. They're like, oh, you wouldn't have known me. But they'll come across like a podcast that I did with like Steve or like a big podcast. And they're like, dude, you don't remember me, but like you inspire me, teach me how to get started. And transparently, I do not ever want to teach somebody how to get started because it's less about strategy and tactics. It's about leveling up as a person and like mindset. And that is not one thing I want to fucking teach somebody. Like you have to go through shit yourself.
Yeah, dude, the 0 to 1 is so hard. I mean, just like with the business you run, dude, you don't work with beginners. It's harder. It's harder and less profitable.
Exactly. And I'm just like, fuck these people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I bet you have a pretty difficult time finding other 20-year-olds that you relate to.
That's one thing that I was going to hit you up after about because one thing that I really want is I want to be around like 20-year-olds, 20 to 22, because anything past that, you're kind of old. I mean, you're halfway in the grave at that. No offense to anybody. But you and I are, one of our close friends is Bargon, right? I'm pretty sure you're close with him, right? The reason why I connect with him so well is like, because we have very similar stories and like, I learn a lot from him. But some of the things I learned from him as an example, it's not pivotal. It's not like game changer. It's like obvious shit that just needs to be brought up. Right. So yes, to answer your question, it's very hard finding people my age that has gone through like.
If you had to start over, knowing everything you know, let's imagine you woke up tomorrow, Bolt Deals doesn't exist anymore, and it has to be an online business. What kind of online business are you starting? It can't be the same one.
It can't be the same one?
Yeah, it can't even be in real estate. Like it has to be something else.
Okay, so let's break down the options, right? E-commerce. I would not do it because there's logistics nightmare and no recurring revenue. You have to constantly innovate and find shit. Same thing for creating brand. I just don't want to do e-com because there's COGS, the cost of goods. Coaching. Starting out, what the fuck can I coach on? I can't coach. What else is there?
Agency.
But you said I can't start an agency.
You could run an agency, but it can't be paid ads and it can't be real estate.
Can I do SEO?
Yeah, you said that sucked earlier, so I don't know.
So here's the thing. It sucks. And I'll tell you why it sucks. Because SEO sucks because it takes 8 to 12 months for a client to start to get results. It's like content. You're not going to get content same day results. It's going to take months. But I would start it because there's retention. It's LTV, right? That's what I would start. And I'll tell you why I love the agency so much. You learn the skills that make a successful business. You learn marketing. You learn sales. You learn finance. You learn how to hire, recruit. You learn how to manage people. That's fucking all businesses are. Because here's the thing. I look at like Hormozy as an example and acquisition.com and private equity in general. Private equity is basically just another fucking growth agency. That's all it is. Their comp structure is just different. Yes, they have to front the risk of buying the business, but when it comes to scaling it, it's the same shit. You know what I mean? So to me, I feel like if you learn to run an agency or just any service-based businesses, whether that's like, cleaning windows or I don't know, let's say you started your own roofing company. There's a lot of roofing people up in Austin. You could pretty much start any business, in my personal opinion.
Have you thought about the private equity side of things?
Yeah, that's something that I want. Like, I'm trying to stay focused. Like right now, I'm 20. Like, only thing I want is to stack cash. That's all, stack cash and buy a jet. My previous goal was to buy a Porsche, but I'm like, I feel like that's too close. I need something way farther so I could chase more. So right now, I just want to stack a fuck ton of cash, put 5-10K a month into S&P 500. My expenses, my only living expenses, like food, I put it on the business. And then stack cash. If opportunities come my way, I am still going to go out and network with people, see if they got businesses, sell myself, build a connection. And then if I can scale their businesses up, then
Makes sense. Before you moved into the apartment you're at, were you in a different apartment? Were you at home?
no, I was at a different apartment, another high rise back in Houston.
Obviously, you've been making money for a while, but even me now, dude, thinking about spending 8 grand a month on rent.
Oh, it fucking sucks. So number one, it's a tax write-off because my tax account, it's gonna save me like $36,000 reduced from my tax bill this year because of that apartment. I'm like, oh, so technically, if we break it down, I'm only spending 5K a month, right? Dude, it's so peaceful because when you wake up and you see the sunrise and the world's quiet, you go on your balcony, you look around, and all you hear is like AC units running. It's so bliss. It's incredible. My living room, I turn into a podcast studio whenever I have clients come or just anybody in general. So my living room is a business expense. My office obviously is a business expense. But yeah, my budget going into it was 5-6K a month. And then I like, what? Fuck it, right? But yeah, it's I'm not saying first a month I enjoy spending 8K, but it is worth it, is what I'll say. Apparently next year I do want to move out into a house. Dude, I was looking at some houses. You can get like a 4,000 square foot, 6 bed, 7 bath house for 8 grand a month. I'm like, fuck, what am I doing?
No, for sure. That's kind of where I'm at as well. I'm in a new apartment now. It's nice, but I'm looking at houses next.
I don't want to buy a house. I can't commit. After 6 months, you kind of get bored.
So someone's watching this. They're also 20 years old. They're thinking, this dude is smoking me. I feel like shit. How do I get on this guy's level? Like, what's your best advice for people who are young that are trying to do something big?
Learn sales. I don't have any. Because you learn sales, you can do anything.
Yeah.
Because you'll never be broke. Because you see guys now, they're doing fucking life insurance now. It's sales. So there's nothing wrong with it. I'm sure you can make money, a lot of money from it, obviously, because people are. But just learn sales.
There's this really big dude in the life insurance space. I'm sure a lot of people watching this know him. He's like bald, lives in Florida. He's huge, dude. I feel like I should know his name. I just saw an interview with him and he does like $1 billion a year. I don't think he sells the insurance himself anymore, but he does like $1 billion a year with people under him.
Is it Patrick Bet-David?
No. It's a white dude. I think he's like ex-military, has a raspy voice, bald. Definitely one of those like motivational guys. Big personal brand.
Sounds like you're describing Wes Watson right now.
It's not Wes Watson. That'd be funny if it was. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely money in the insurance industry.
But there's cons to it as well. If a fuck ton of people charge back and your agents sell it wrong, you could fucking lose your license and you got to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars back. That doesn't sound fun either.
For sure. You just said to the kid who's trying to make it, learn sales. But let's kind of zoom out, talk about your life because of sales. Imagine a world where you didn't learn how to sell. Where are you at? What are you doing?
I wouldn't have money. I would probably become a pilot or something because I know pilots can make like 200K a year.
No selling, just sitting there driving the plane.
Yeah, it's well, now that I'm working on getting my pilot's license and watching people fly planes, I can understand what's going on. I talk to pilots when I go fly, whatever. But a lot of it is like admin work. I mean, for example, there's a pilot that I spoke to who just retired. So he flew for FedEx as an example. He would fly for 1 week and be off 3 weeks and make 200K a year. And I'm like,
you know why it makes sense that you want to go out west now? Because they have all those little private airports.
I don't know if it's west. I just know it's on outskirts. But yeah, Lake Travis West.
Yeah. What's something that's like top of mind for you in the agency that you're trying to build out or excited to implement?
So a fire that we had last month, because it's not all rainbows and unicorns, believe it or not, is that we had to let go. I fired my director of client success, and I was freaking out because we were losing clients like crazy and like upset clients and whatever. So we had to fire him. Because I was listening to his calls, I'm like, I'm fucking paying 70K a month for this shit. Like, what? Nothing was getting done, and that was literally his job, client success director, lead the CS team. So I had to fucking jump in and just clean out all the fires. I thought it was going to take 60 days to get back on track. We were finished by end of week. And then we just started moving in the right direction. I started taking calls. We have clear action items at the end of every call, and we're just moving way faster. So another thing I'll share is like speed of execution is extremely important. If you say you're going to do something, like, why can't you do it right now? For example, I'll ask my team, like, hey, when can you reach out to this client and, get this done? Go like end of day. I was like, no, why not do it right now? Like, wait. You know what I mean? Sales team, same thing. It's like update your notes or upload call recordings. I'll do it at the end of no, do it right now. Like, why are we waiting? So just speed of execution is extremely important. Being okay with failing. I know that sounds like wishy-washy bullshit because I remember hearing that and I think it's stupid. But now that I see it's like, okay, just expect things to go wrong. And when they go right, that's when your time is to be happy. So another thing that's helped is just having a delusional amount of self-belief in yourself. Because, if you don't believe in yourself, who will? Because if you don't believe in yourself, you've already lost before you got to the starting line.
What's it like firing someone that you pay 7K a month
Easy.
when they're not doing well? Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, it's super easy. The hardest part was telling clients that because some clients actually liked him. And then I would have a call with them. I was like, okay, that's what he's capable of. This is what I'm capable of. Are you upset? No? Great. Let's move on.
So are you going to replace them or you're going to just do it?
Already switch our structure. Our media buyers are now building relationships with our clients as well. So I turn my media buyers into account managers, give them a little pay raise, and they're happy.
Nice. How many media buyers do you have?
We got two.
Cool. All right, dude. I asked you enough questions. Where can the people find you if they want to connect with you?
Instagram, YouTube won't help, but yeah, Instagram would be best.
Do you make a lot of your content? I see it, but
It's all wholesaling related, but I'm going to get better at doing lifestyle because I get so much feedback from people where they're like, dude, all I see is you work, work, work. Like, do you have a life? I'm like, no, not really. So I'm gonna start getting better at like posting life stuff. My creative team, it's something we can also talk about. It's one person. Yeah, I pay him eight. He does ideation, he does filming, all the tech, editing, and posting. He used to run a production company and they did shit for like Adidas, Universal Studios, Sony. So
you got some big fixed expenses in your business. Yeah, that's crazy, dude. And you're only 20, man. All right, besides having a plan, where are you going to be at 30?
30, I want to be married and have kids by the time I'm 30. Because transparently, it's like the material stuff is great, dude. But I think like you have a Porsche yourself. You got a Turbo S yourself, and I don't know how you. I'm not gonna speak for you, but for me, when I get something like I have a Patek from an 80. I spent 35 on this thing. It's great for 6 months, and then after that, it's just a watch. That's all it is. Right? Yes, I feel great when I put it like all that bullshit, but the material stuff from my experience is like after a few months, it's gone. Right? But a jet, it's gonna be. I don't know. I don't have a jet yet, so I don't know. But the biggest thing is like I want to be busy enough to where I need a jet.
No, 100%. I would agree with that, man. But you don't know that. Like, you can hear 100 people say that it goes away, but you don't know it until you experience it
Oh,
yourself.
100%. 100%. Like, now, everybody has their own thing of when they should spend money. My rule of thumb is like, for anything, is try to, unless it's like a plane is like having 50 million cash is kind of hard. Right. But for smaller stuff, like if you're going to buy a Rolex, at least have like 10 to 15 times of that amount in cash. That was my rule of thumb. You can do whatever the fuck you want. It's your money. I don't care. But for me, the stuff is great, but it'll get to a point where you're going to get bored of it. It's not a matter of if you're going to, it's when you're going to get bored of it. So for me, I find satisfaction in learning stuff. I love to, like here in Hawaii, I'm hiking hills and trails and shit. That to me, I get fulfillment out of it. Seeing people win, right? Creating content where I get to be myself is really fun. Like people could see the real side of me where I'm not so formal, where I make jokes because I mean, some people think I don't swear, which is so funny to me. But creating content makes me fun. Working with people I care about, it makes me happy. Seeing people win, clients, other people, may give me satisfaction. But I think if I'm going to make my life or judge my success based on the material things, I don't think that's how it should be done. Because you get bored of it. Like how many watches can you have? How many cars can you have?
Yeah, I have a couple of nice watches, and it's like, yeah, I could get a bigger and better one, but I already know what's going to happen. you know? Like I don't really have much more to gain by buying like
I was gonna buy an Aquanaut this year to protect, and I'm just like, yeah, I could, but it's just like, who cares?
for real, dude. I mean, I'm 27 now, and I would say like the biggest thing that I'm looking forward to is for sure having kids, which is not a monetary thing. And like, dude, I've been in that hustle grind culture.
I got a question for you. So this is my opinion, but I'm curious what people think. I'm sure you have, friends that have kids and stuff already. Do you feel that having the skill of sales will help you become a great parent, a great father?
Yeah, definitely. It's leadership, like persuading people to take actions that they should or need to take.
That's interesting because I've asked other people, like, hey, what would happen if you ran your family the way you ran a business? And they're like, oh, you can't do that. But I agree with you on the sales part. In my personal opinion, I think entrepreneurs who have actually like struggled and shit will become great parents because they understand, what they don't want and understand how to communicate.
Well, to get to a certain level in entrepreneurship, dude, you kind of got to be a psycho, and that same like psychotic behavior is not the same that helps like nurture relationships as I've seen it. So that actually makes sense what you said. If you fail at entrepreneurship, you'll be a great dad.
I don't know about that.
I'm just kidding.
I mean, I don't want to go to your kids and be like, oh, dad, why aren't we rich? Oh, because I quit, because I'm a bitch.
That's funny. Well, shoot, dude. No, I appreciate you coming on. I'll link all your stuff below if people want to reach out to you. If you're in Austin and you can hang at this level and connect with Ben because he needs more 20-year-olds to hit up.
Yeah, don't fucking ask me how do I learn sales, dude. I will literally kill myself. People ask me, how do I get into sales? Like, dude, just fucking, I don't know, go on YouTube.
Go sell, bro.
Yeah, just go sell. Just
Go knock doors.
something we should have talked about is that I got my first sales thing. I used to be a Boy Scout, and we would sell like popcorn and coupon books. That was my first like intro to like door-to-door sales.
It's actually pretty good, dude. Like, go sell stuff through Boy Scouts. Makes sense.
Oh, don't join it now. It's fucking political bullshit now. Girl Scouts are now Boy Scouts. It's so stupid.
That's funny. Okay, so don't join Boy Scouts. Just go knock door-to-door solar and figure it out, I guess.
Yeah, door-to-door solar, door-to-door root, like Nave, and we both. He sells roots, I think. Fucking did well doing that. Dude, sell pest control. Do you know a lot of door-to-door people here in Austin?
Not really.
Because I was curious, like, if you were to sell door-to-door, like, what product would do well in Austin?
Roofs do well. Yeah, everywhere in Texas, dude. Roofs and solar.
Solar's a scam, is what I've heard. Roofing is too competitive.
I mean, the pros and cons to all of them. All right, dude. Let's wrap this one up. Thanks for coming on, man.
Of course.
All right, you guys, that is the end of another Because of Sales podcast. Thank you for tuning in. I warned you in the beginning, a little bit different than some of the other podcasts, but very insightful. This guy is killing it. Honestly, just a really, really great guy to have in your corner. If you can find people like this, stay by them, keep them in your corner, learn from them. And learn from Ben. Go connect with him on all the socials. They're going to be linked down below. And we have a really, really, really good suite of guests lined up for you guys if you're a sales rep or business owner. So I'm excited to bring these to you. Last ask of you guys is please get on the free newsletter. First link in the description. Don't make me beg. It is free. It will always be free. We want to help you sell more, make it easier, and maybe make you laugh in the process. So we send these every Wednesday, less than a 5-minute read. Check it out while you sip your coffee. Let's get better. Thank you for tuning in, you guys. We'll see you next week.